The Wood Night is sponsored by I Would Like. Alright, so this is finally done. The initial delays were because of all of Mum's furniture of last year, so this got put to the side because it was relatively unimportant. Had I known then what I know now, I would have done this very differently. I would have flattened it right off the bat with the router, but it's a learning experience. I'm not sure how well the colour is showing up, but it is quite a vibrant red, this Redgum, and the cat is biting me. And with the finish on it, when the sunlight hits it, it just almost glows. It's really quite interesting. So this is an Australian native, it's very heavy. So I think this weighs in at about 40-50 kilos. So it was a nightmare trying to get it up the stairs. The bolts that attach the leg are still those silver ones that you saw earlier, because that's all the Bunnings had. We'll eventually get some black ones or spray paint those or whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're in elongated holes so that there's enough room for wood movement, so that shouldn't be an issue. The finish that I used was Osmo Polyx Clear Satin, which is the first time using it. It's an oil wax blend. It goes on interesting, it's kind of thick, you just need a thin coat on it. The feel is really nice, it's that close to wood finish rather than a film finish. But in theory it is waterproof, water resistant, so the water and alcohol and all that should beat up rather than ruining it. But with the Osmo oil you just put another coat over any damaged areas, so it's not as necessarily as strong as polyurethane, but it has some repairability versus none of polyurethane, so you don't have to sand the whole lot, you just have to apply another coat to the damaged area. So we're looking into finishes that can replace a lot of finishes that we have. So the Osmo oil, this is the first test, and so far very good. Just want to see how the durability actually is. And the other is the Danish oil, the organ oil Danish oil, which is mostly tung oil. There's a few things wrong with this you may or may not notice, but I didn't get the 45 right. It's actually closer to 40, probably 43, 43 and a half. So it splays out a little bit. It doesn't matter. And that's probably mostly my fault. Initially I hadn't flattened the slab. I thought I had when I cut the miter, but I hadn't, so the track followed the material that it was sitting on top of. I think the scale on the Bosch track saw might be slightly off but I don't know of a good way to measure that and then to correct it. So if you've got hints on how you can measure a circular saw's bevel other than the scale, that would be great. I'm happy to buy something. I just want a good way to be able to say, yep, it is this angle or that angle or whatever. So just a tiny bit of housekeeping. I probably won't have a project video out next week as I'm a bit behind on some Patreon projects. So I'll get that done first, and then the week after I have project videos back. Thanks for watching.